start recording.
Just out of curiosity, there you have the relevant sliders put up.
Yep, sliders put all the way up. All right. Can you hear yourselves now through the stream?
Testing 1 2, testing 1 2.
Yes.
Okay, so it was something weird with OBS then. I don't understand what's going on, but if that fixes it, then we're fixed. All right. Sorry, Zerder. Please restart the. Well, let's start with player introductions again, and then go back to the recap. I am Sam Lander, your GM. I have some players.
I'm Holocaust, playing a human fighter, also called Holocaust.
I'm Institute and playing a human rogue called Horgold Wolfswift.
I am Satet, playing a half-elf bard named Tuco.
I am sort of playing a kobold ranger called Grunt. And last episode, we were in Convergence trying to figure out, we had figured out that Anya's forces had left shortly after the last visit of the then group, which only 2 of the party members are present of. Gruntos has some weird stuff he's figuring out. Horgold did some lurking for the thieves. Not sure if he found something, but he was gone a long time. Tuco got the job of making a epic tale about someone's father, I think it was. And the group traveled to Kartuk, where I think we traveled to Kartuk, and there we took in on an inn, had some drinks.
You were still in Convergence. You hadn't gotten on the
Still
train
in.
yet.
Oh, okay. Still in
He
Convergence.
bought the ticket, but for the next train, not. He did not ride it.
Yeah, but we went to the inn, got ambushed by some sort of devil, fiend, demon thing. Not sure what, but some big ugly thing that could shrink, and he just vanished. And the last thing was the innkeeper coming up. What in the devil happened to my door?
And Intertooth has like 1 hit point, right?
I think slightly more than because he drank a potion.
Yeah.
All right. It is that night that the innkeeper's looking at all of you. The converging toward Convergence. The like the hall is a wreck. You guys were too busy to see it at the time, but there are giant gouges in the floor from this thing's claws. And where this thing passed, they're like, you guys can smell the very faint scent of scorched wood, and you see just the wood has been darkened on the walls on either side.
Is the innkeeper still up there?
Yeah, he is looking at his like the wall and like the wall and the door, because the door is shattered. He's looking at it in just stark disbelief, like he doesn't know what's going on.
Okay, I would like to cast Hypnotic Pattern to fill that into the hallway, so it doesn't affect us, but it affects him.
Okay.
To just keep him.
Twisting the what save do I have, or do I have a save? Wisdom saving throw. He's gonna fail that. So he is hypnotized by your hypnotic pattern. So they're charmed.
All right. Guys, how do we want to handle this now that we're not going to be bothered by him for a few minutes?
Can I get some healing?
Yeah, I cast cure wounds on.
Roll your cure wounds. So looks like
10 hit points.
10 hit points.
Do any of you know what that was?
Nope.
Knowledge religion.
I think I got an idea what it was, but I as a player don't.
If that's good enough. That's good enough. I thought you did too, Zer, so we'll just go with it. Pull it right up. Nope, that's not it. It was not doppelganger. That guy right
Horned devil?
there. A horned.
something?
It was a horned devil. I don't know if you can see the
So-
picture very well.
Do we think it was summoned here, or it just coincidence?
Give me an investigate roll, please. That you don't spot anything. Oh, Grunthos does. Horgold does. So a quick check of Horgold's room. So there's a nice purple glow in there from the fairy fire. But on the floor you see a pattern of runes in a circle kind of at the end of Horgold's bed. And there is there's a gap, and that gap is pointed directly at Horgold. These runes are like burned into the floor with a 20 in investigation. Well, Horgold or Zerder, Grunthos, you can give me a spellcraft, I think is the skill check.
Arcana?
Arcana, thank you. Yeah, that's well and good enough. So Horgold, this is a summoning circle, but it is with a 23 on Arcana. You are very certain that this is something that somebody could basically use, say, like a piece of your hair or something like that, some essence of you, to basically create a summoning circle at a distance and summon a horned devil to assassinate you. So they would need either a like really good idea who you are, or some like fingernail or piece of hair or something like that. Some piece of you to correctly anchor it. And yeah, no, and this is burned in the floor. The like the pattern is definitely such that it like is directed at you.
I share the information with the group. It looks like that somebody had it for me, specially for me.
By the way, a bit later, another heal for. Another 3 hit point.
Still bloodied, but doesn't matter.
All right. So you guys have about probably 30 seconds left before the hypnotic pattern is going to die down. You going to do anything?
Do you want to face consequences, or should we pack up and get out of here fast?
It's not our fault.
May not see it that way, and the authorities might not either.
Well, either way, I think we're running out of time to this.
Yeah, we should leave the inn anyway, but I want to compensate the owner.
Okay, we'll let it dispel. I will break concentration and just end this.
Okay. You break concentration, ending the spell. The guy is like blinking, and he was looking around in disbelief, and now he's looking around in confusion because he doesn't exactly know what happened there. But he sees you guys still in the hallway. He's just sputtering because the way I'm just sputtering.
Is this how you call this hospitality? Look at this mess. Your rooms are in terrible shape, sir. I want my deposit back.
He's like, you didn't put a deposit down. It was the cost for the night.
Oh, so now you're trying to take our money. Look, you call this safety? I thought this was a safe place to stay. And look, a monster came from your hotel and attacked.
A month? So is that what wrecked my door? What is going on here?
I'm just gonna turn around and go back to my room and start gathering my.
He sputters at you a little bit and looks at the rest of you guys.
Two of us are wounded.
What the heck was that thing?
Yeah, only a horned devil.
Only a horn. Uh-huh. So you're going to tell me that there was a devil in my inn that first wrecked my... He looks into Horgold's room. Wrecked my room and then wrecked my door, tore up my floor, and then just disappeared?
Yes.
Well,
Come here. And I nearly drag him by the arm towards the summoning circle.
He follows you. Who burned that into my floor?
The devil.
That's... I mean... That seems accurate enough. I don't think I want you... He looks at Horgold, whose room this was. I don't know that I want you in my inn anymore. Is this going to happen again?
Well, we wanted to get to another inn anyway. But well, we kind of compensate you a little bit for your inconvenience that you cannot rent out the room anymore.
I mean, thanks. He's like, I'm going to have to sand. I'm going to have to rip up the floor. He's just muttering to himself at this point. Did you guys piss off a wizard?
I don't think so.
I mean, who else is going to summon a... Oh, you called it a horned devil?
Yeah.
I'm giving him 50 brass.
He takes the brass from you. I mean, this is enough to clean up the like repair the room and clean up the hall. He well covers his expenses. He's like, thanks. Just be careful out there, because I mean, if somebody was mad enough at you to summon, I mean, I'm assuming you weren't. This is me being nice, but I'm assuming you weren't the one summoning the devil yourself.
No.
But
I wish I could, but no.
You didn't
Besides,
look like a wizard.
why would we summon a devil only for it to attack us?
Well, I mean, the whole stories of them getting free of their summoner and wreaking vengeance upon them are common, but I mean, the benefit of the doubt says that you wouldn't summon it in the end. Also, no offense, sir, you do not look like a wizard. You look a little more
Good,
less
because
fancy
I'm not.
than that. Anyway, good luck. Be safe. Don't let them summon another one.
I'm gonna
And-
pop my head out the door and yell, 1 star! Just go back in my room.
I step up to the innkeeper and whisper and keep it quiet and cast my Fey presence thing. How do I do it? Why doesn't it work?
I don't know. Fey presence. I don't know that one off the top of my head. There you go.
There you go.
Wisdom saving throw. Or become charmed or frightened by
Is a choice here.
Are you gonna charm him or frighten him?
Frightened.
He looks very scared. He's like, yeah. I won't tell anybody.
I say good and pat him on his back.
I go to the room and grab the rest of my stuff I had lying about and head out, slapping him on the shin, thigh,
Probably
as I
thigh.
walk past him.
Yep.
Good man. Have a good day.
I'm never gonna sleep again. You hear him mutter.
I'll head out as well. Let's look for a new inn.
Inns are many and plentiful. It is probably 2 a.m. Like really early morning. Anyone you go to, you basically have to bang on the bar. Depending if it's a bar and an inn, you have to bang on the bar, or you have to okay, if it's a bar, there's still gonna be people around. An actual inn, you're probably gonna have to wake somebody up to come help you, but
Can I just go sleep in the train station?
yes, actually, there would be places like benches and stuff you could sleep on.
Well, if someone wants to pay for new rooms, that's fine. Otherwise, I'm just going to go to the train station.
I want a comfortable bed this night, if you don't mind.
I go up to the nearest inn and just start hammering on the door.
After a few moments, the innkeeper pokes bleary. She pokes her head out blearily, looks down at you. What?
4 rooms?
Sure. Bronze each.
I drop 2 for each room.
She perks up a little bit and hands you keys to the rooms.
Bronze, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And a key to each member and start trying to figure out which room is mine.
There's numbers on the keys. This is like a 4-story building, probably. Yeah, 4-story building. All 4 rooms on the 4th floor. This is the windswept inn. And yeah, you guys are in 4 rooms, probably in a line along one wall. You hear it's not a really windy night, but you hear why this place is called the Windswept Inn, because it's not very well sealed against, like, the halls are not very well sealed against the outside. All right, that is very fair.
Just to secure my room a little bit.
I mean, that's why you woke up before you got, stabbed the last time. So yes, you absolutely can put an alarm down.
And I think I'll just hit the sack.
All right. Give me.
Yeah, I'll just go to bed as well.
All right. So, Horgold, I would like you to make a wisdom save to sleep comfortably, because you just got somebody just tried to assassinate you. 14. Yeah, you sleep okay. It's not the most restful sleep you've ever had, but with your alarm up, you're pretty confident that if anybody else tries to do anything, that you will be awakened in time to hear it or to respond. The rest of you sleep as comfortably as you would normally. Horgold, you have dreams of being chased through dark alleys. You're not exactly sure, but you're able to, not to the level of nightmares that wake you up, just that ever present dream of something is behind you and following after you. But the night passes. The sun rises. The train is destined to take you around 4 this afternoon. So you have a morning and an afternoon to spend here in town. There is no food service in this inn.
Anyone awake? Hello. I'm gonna walk out in the hall and bang on the door.
What? Who? Where?
Let's go get food.
Food?
Food and beer.
Just a second.
All right. You guys get up, gather up your stuff. You're good. You get up, gather up your stuff. Brain. My brain will restart. As you head out of the inn, you guys aren't that far from the was it the roast boar, the place that you guys were in last night. You the first thing you notice or fail to notice is, no, you notice it. The lack of, every time you come through this part of town, you've smelled the roasting, like the roast that the guy is doing. You are not smelling that this morning. But you do see like stalls across like along the street with every once in a while you see somebody with like food in a cart. There's also cafes spread around kind of evenly. And of course, most bars have breakfast service because they have people who sleep in them too.
Well, I'd vote for a cafe. I assume Gronthos, you're gonna want a beer, so we should probably go to a bar and eat.
Only one? At least 3.
Pick a place.
That one, and I point at a random direction.
What is it called?
The Gilded Eagle.
The Gilded Eagle. All right. So the Gilded Eagle is because I'm a great believer in irony. A very run down bar. You walk in. You can smell probably sausage and eggs frying. But the like place is kind of run down looking. There's dirt piled in the corners, and the rushes and stuff to soak up the patrons drinking that splash on the floor and puke have not been swept up from the night before. But as you approach the bar, the bartender sets a beer in front of you without even like. As you guys get up to the bar, he immediately sets a beer in front of you, and then a plate of sausage and eggs, probably think blood sausage, and 2 eggs, and then goes back about his business.
I'll just drop a brass on the counter.
He makes it disappear in a very, like, you drop a brass on the counter, you hear it bing once as it hits the counter, and it doesn't have a chance to come to a rest. It is gone as he is bustling around behind the bar. It disappeared into the folds of his. I mean, he's not a small person. We'll go in the folds of his clothes.
That kind of money for food and drink for 4. I'm guessing he wants it to not be around very long.
There is some dark rye bread to go along with the food. The beer is kind of a thick, chewy lager, but not.
Yum.
It doesn't taste bad, but it's definitely a heavy beer for breakfast.
Are there any other people here?
There's a couple of probably dock workers from the looks of them. There are arranged around the room several people like snoring their last night's drink off, either laying against the table or laying on the floor. Each of them has been like, there is a plate of eggs and sausages going out to each of them as they kind of wake up. Seems like this place's reputation is no questions asked food service. Could I get a insight from everybody, please? Horgold and Hollick have advantage.
Tastes good to me.
All right, with 21 and a 20, Horgold and Hollick, this place is, you are getting the impression it is run down on purpose, and that this is the place where, how do I want to put it? Like, you go to do business that may not be the most business that's on the up and up, and this guy, the reason he's serving food without even talking about it is because he quite possibly doesn't want to know who's here and what's going on, like on purpose.
My kind of place.
Right. Hulk,
And there's also the possibility that it's breakfast, people want food, and it's the only thing he has.
Right. But yeah, no, breakfast is served. As you guys are finishing up your food, like a second round of beers appeared before you. And about this time, a person walks in, heads into the back of the place, and about the time you get about halfway through your second beer, another person walks in, heading to the back of this place.
Does anything
So-
look similar between the two guys, or do they look familiar?
They do not look familiar. Perception? Yeah, sure, perception would be a good. They have the look of somebody who. The first one had the look of somebody who is here on, like, who has business and they're going to their business. The second person was a person who kind of. The second person was a like they were looking around a little nervously. After like they poked their head in and they quickly hurried back to the back of the place. And the bartender did not even like blink an eye at.
Is
at
it an
them passing.
open door, locked door? Like, how are they getting back?
It's a cloth curtain, kind of a heavy, probably like layered linen material. When they went past, you can tell that this cloth is thick enough to deaden any sound that might be coming from the back.
Okay, I want to step out of the bar, kind of around the corner where I'm secluded, and
Okay.
cast greater invisibility.
You absolutely can do that.
And then I want to walk back in and try to get past the curtain without being too noticeable. Like suck in my gut and squeeze past.
Give me a stealth roll with advantage. With an 11, you've got bonuses for being completely invisible. You think you make it back without anybody noticing it. I will give him a roll with disadvantage. Really? You know what? I don't believe it. I'm just gonna accept. I'm gonna ignore some things. No. He. All right. So you get back in the back. Horgold, Grunthos, Hollock, you guys might have caught the twitch of the curtain as Tuco passed, or not. Probably not. The guy at the bar kind of gives a half a snort, but he goes about his business. Tuco, you find yourself in a back room. There's, kegs and flasks of alcoholic drinks in here. And there's also a door off to kind of the side leading back in further, or rather it's another curtain. This curtain isn't quite as heavy as the other one is, and you can hear the shuffle of cards and the throw of dice and various other sounds along those lines.
Nothing else obvious in this room, just like a normal storeroom with.
Yeah, just like a normal storeroom.
Okay, I'm gonna try to be stealthy again and slip through this curtain.
All right, give me another stealth roll with advantage. It's a 21. That is okay. So as you go to go through the second curtain, you can see. So there's like this little alcove that you couldn't see before you approached the curtain. Off to the side, there is a woman standing there with a crossbow and a short sword, and she is looking intently at. Basically, she's looking intently the direction you go in, but you think you slip past her into this back room.
Okay, I will quietly try to sneak down the hallway then, see where I can see.
All right, so you get past her. You find a small gambling parlor, I guess you'd say. They're playing like Three Dragon Ante and dice games, and there's even like a roulette wheel. The nervous looking gentleman that you guys saw pass through is actually seated in a chair at the back of the room, looking around very nervously. You do not see the other gentleman who came around earlier. Just came through the earlier time. There's probably 2 or 3 house people that you can see, and there's probably 3 or 4 people who look like patrons in here. They have the appearance of people who've been up all night. A couple of them have the dreary look of somebody who's taken stimulants to remain up all night. Not the house people, but the gamblers. And you just get the very impression of a very seedy, like, gambling establishment.
Okay. I'm going to. Can I, like you said, there's a roulette wheel.
Yeah.
Can I, like, is there room for me to sneak up to the table a little bit?
Yes.
I want to just, like, stop the roulette wheel, then back off and try to get out of the room.
Greater invisibility. Okay. So, yeah, you can stop the roulette wheel more quickly than it would have normally. Are you trying to get the ball to drop into a specific pocket, or just have the ball stop, or just have the wheel stop?
Just have it stop.
All right. So you stop the roulette wheel. The person, the house person running the roulette wheel, looks down in surprise. Like they weren't expecting it to stop right then, and then she calls out red 15. Nobody's a winner on that roll, and then you said you're gonna leave.
Yeah, I want to get out of there.
All right, so you're able to slip your way back out without any real problems, back out into the main room. You've got about probably 2 or 3 more rounds left on, because it says up to a minute, so probably 2 or 3 more rounds left on your invisibility.
I'm just gonna walk behind the guys and not quite a whisper, but not full volume, say, someone meet me outside, there's gambling in the back.
I chug the rest of my beer and get up and just mosey on.
Yeah, same.
So then I'll go on outside and release once I'm off to the side, kind of where I started my invisibility.
Yep. You don't think anybody's seen you reappear?
Is anyone out there? Am I alone?
Well, Horgold
I'm with you.
and Grunthos came out.
Okay.
I follow when they leave.
It looks like a gambling parlor in back, but there's some other people that look like they might be bookies or accountants or something possibly back there. I'm not sure how well I would fit in, but perhaps Horgold, you could go, and someone might have some information on Anya or something that we want to know if you want to try to blend in.
From random gamblers. I don't think they have the information that we need. And I don't want to get into more trouble than needed at this point.
All right. I thought maybe they might have some smuggling information or something like that, some black market.
If I want to, can contact the black market, probably.
All right. I shrug.
Well, it's early still, but any plans before the train leaves?
I maybe want to stock up on some normal equipment.
All right, you're able to find. I don't feel like running a shopping experience. You're able
Yeah.
to find pretty much anything you want. Say at about a 5% discount from the price listed in the player's handbook.
So Horgold, any idea who might be after you?
Not that I know of. That's the problem. I was thinking about that, but I don't think I pissed anybody off enough to summon a demon. You know,
Sorry, out of character. None of us know that Horgold did any of the stuff he did at the mansion.
Correct.
You don't have reason to believe it's Anya or anyone else. It doesn't seem like something the Fey Queen would do. Plus, she thinks that we're still, well, we are helping her.
And the Fey Queen would not summon a devil, I think.
yeah, and Anya also not. If Anya wants me dead, she will kill me herself, I guess.
I just don't want any surprises on the train ride. I've been looking forward to this forever.
Same here, but I really don't know who's after me. You know, I piss some people off, but I don't have the powers enough to, summon demons.
From what you guys, rolled earlier, it would take either a very powerful wizard or somebody with a lot of money to pay a very powerful wizard to summon a demon like that. It's you pissed off somebody a lot, and you're not sure who that would be or why. I mean, I know, but
Did the guy who had the construct or whatever that we fought on the ship many sessions ago, and he jumped off, did he die or did he get away? I can't remember.
he was
He died.
yeah, he was very dead. His master was not, but he got arrested, and you guys don't exactly know what happened after that for him.
Yeah, it could be the boat owner, but why only go after me?
Well, I don't know. Okay, now what?
All right, it's unless we have something else we need to do, we'll go ahead and fast forward to mid afternoon. The train is pulled into the station probably around noon. There are stevedores working on unloading the cargo wagons and reloading it. People are getting on and off the train. There's like 3 or 4 sleeper cars attached to this train. That haven't necessarily been on there for previous rounds or previous trips that you guys have seen of this thing. I think it's I forget how long. It's like a 2-week journey all the way to Kartuk from Convergence, or I don't. Do you guys remember about how much I said? I think it was about 2 weeks.
Yeah, I was about to say, look, I think one of those cars is for us.
You guys can in CC the ticket you have on you for sleeper car number 4. And there is in fact a car which is the second one in the line labeled sleeper car number 4. It's sleeper car 1, 4, 7, and 8.
Okay, well, I guess I'm gonna load up.
I'm going to board the train at the as far forward on it as I can and just walk the length back to our.
Okay.
Is there on-train service food and stuff?
Yeah, so there is the engine train. There is a collier of some kind directly behind the engine train. The first car that you guys can get into is a looks like a low passage train car. A bunch of benches. People are getting on. The so is train. So it's probably 3 cars of that, and then there is a food service car that has like it has obviously a kitchen area, and then in the very front of that car and then around there is actually like a set of tables and stuff set up, and the next car back from that is also some sort of food service. um and it goes back, it's like they're mirrored, so there's a kitchen, food service, kitchen, and then there are three, probably 4 or 5 cars of I guess you call it normal riders. These have benches, and they look like the benches can be like converted into makeshift beds. But they're not. It wouldn't be super comfortable to sleep on, but it's but yeah. So you got probably 4 cars of that, and then you have another food service car, and then you have the 4 sleeper cars, and then the last sleeper car, the door at the very end is locked, so you guys can pass through the entire length of the train after the collier train, or the collier car. So you can pass through the entire length up until the last door on the last sleeper. It is locked, and behind that is probably 15 or probably 20 cargo wagons, and then after that there is a caboose wagon.
That's a big train.
So yeah, passing through, there's definitely an air of people riding this train as, I don't know if a tourist type thing necessarily you would call it, but definitely, kids standing on their seats, looking out the window, watching the people board and disembark from the train. The about probably 3 o'clock in the afternoon. By about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the last of the cargo wagons is being locked up. For the last of the cargo wagons is being locked up, and some guards are moving their way back to the back train. There is a engineer, ticketmaster, engineer we'll go with, going through the train, taking tickets, directing people to where they should be on the train for when the train leaves. You guys are directed to please stay in either the last food wagon, or you can ride in the last food wagon, or you can ride in your sleeper wagon. The sleeper wagon has, I want to say, 6 rooms that can easily be laid out into like a nice double bed, or can be kind of put away, and there's chairs and windows out to the outside. There's people in the like food wagon, look like the other passengers for the sleeper cars, as the engineer is coming through. He states basically, you guys will be leaving in a few minutes. Expect that it'll be a little jerky at the start. After we get moving, there will be food served starting around 5 p.m. If you would like, we will be crossing the bridge around 4:15. That's probably the best part of this first part of the journey. But please make yourself comfortable, and we'll be on our way. And he then heads back up to the front of the train. After seeing, you guys all have your tickets, so no problem.
I have a question for him. Do you also bring food to our sleeper car?
Yeah, he said absolutely. If you want to, breakfast is delivered every morning to the sleeper cart. If you would like a lunch or supper delivered to the sleeper cart, just let us know at least an hour in advance what you'd like to eat. Selection is a little smaller for stuff delivered, but you can absolutely have stuff delivered. You guys got the fancy ride.
I think I'm gonna enjoy this.
All right. So the round just shortly after 4 in the afternoon, the you hear calls over the basically you hear calls of people saying all aboard, and the engineers going around doing final checks on tickets. Anybody who he didn't see on earlier when he went through, he's checking the tickets of. He's also locking the side doors. He as he goes through the train, he actually locks the middle doors, and goes through a car. It's not a very, it's like a thumb lock sort of thing, so you can open it up pretty easily, but it's not like the door was not in any danger of opening up accidentally. And you hear the kind of and you feel a shudder pass through the floor of the train, and then you feel another one, and then you feel another one, and eventually the floor of your cart shakes a little more strongly, and you actually see the the train like your car starting to pull ahead, and you feel another little shudder for the car after you, and another little shudder as the slack is pulled out of the couplings, and the train starts getting it moving. You guys turn. There's a big. You guys basically drive through town. There's a big loop that you go in, and then you come back on the backside of the station. Pull through town the other direction, cross over the bridge, which is quite the sight actually, because about this time you're probably going 15 or 20 miles an hour, and this is a wooden trellis bridge. And this train weighs a literal lot of tons, and it is passing over this bridge. It's probably the smoothest ride over a bridge in a vehicle you have ever experienced. There's a definite like shaky to the thing, and you can hear the click clack of the wheels hitting rails, or like hitting the intersections of the rails, but you expect the bridge with something this heavy to like shake and shimmer and whatever. It's dead calm. And you guys are moving, and the train is on its way.
I want to investigate my room for any markings and stuff like that.
Give me an
I was thinking the same thing.
Give me an investigate roll, please. That's a really good roll. Go ahead and give me one for you as well. That is also a really good roll. Same answer, different method, but so you guys as after the train is up and running, you guys toss your rooms and look around to find if there's anything out of place in here. I don't think there's anybody to use here. Do you want to try it? You do not find anything like markings or anything that strikes you as out of place. There is, I mean, you can easily find each room has its own little water closet bathroom in it, and opening up the flush causes you to see the rails passing under, or the railroad ties passing underneath the train. Other than that, nothing strikes you as out of normal. You don't see any magical circles inscribed on the floor. You do detect the presence of, on like the windows, there is, you can see the scribing of some sort of spell on the window, but it looks everything to you like what you've seen on other secure. Basically, it's a lock to prevent the window from opening without it being opened, and not a very strong one, just something along those lines. Yeah, no, the cars, like with 21s, you guys have pretty quickly investigated every room in this train car and don't have found anything out of the ordinary.
I went ahead to where other passengers are. I want to scout, see if there's a place where I can just play, practice.
Sure, you could easily practice in the dining cart, or are you gonna go into one of the forward train cars?
I'd say one of the forward cars, maybe one that has like less class of people, just to entertain.
All right, so you head towards the front of the train. Yeah, you can easily set up. The place is moderately crowded. The people here look like they're dressed in, they're not ragamuffins, they're not dressed poorly, but they are definitely, say, upper worker class or lower shop owner class type people. A lot of them have like a family, so husband and wife and a kid or two. It's one of those things where the kids generally are either playing in the aisleway or have their face plastered to the window. As you came forward, you kind of noticed that, like, within a few miles outside of town, you guys are booking right along, probably 50 or 60 miles an hour, probably as fast as you have ever traveled in your entire life, or maybe faster than you have ever traveled in your entire life. But you get to one of the front cars and sit up on a bench, and yeah, absolutely can play. I don't think people really notice you, other than, like, there are definitely some people watching you, but it's more like just the calming of nerves for having a pleasant tune played. Kids playing a little more easily about what they're doing or whatever.
Yep, I'm not looking for donations. I'm just playing to play.
Yep. All right. After a while, the engineer says that the next stop will be 2 days from now in the town of Sand Meadow, which is actually, right there. Or it's not, 2 weeks. About 2 days. Well, no, 1 week. Yeah, no, it's like 3 days from now. Anyway, in a couple days, you guys will be coming to the town of Sand Meadow. They will be stopped there for approximately 4 hours. There is another train coming from the other direction, so this train has to be off on the split track on while that train goes through. If you are ticketed to that town, then please get off there. We'll be coming through again, checking tickets to make sure you don't go too far. But hope everybody has a pleasant trip, and we will see. Hope everyone has a pleasant trip. And if you have any questions, please come to the front of your car and ask. There's not a stevedore, but a person generally throughout the daytime is in the front of the car that is wearing like the train uniform. Like through the course of the first day of travel, there's people coming up and asking about speed and how much distance we're covering and all that sort of stuff. By the end of the second day, the people who are fascinated by the travel are starting to get a little bored of it. This place is real hilly, so the train has to curve around hills a lot or go up and down. Every time you guys go up a hill, every time you guys go down a hill, this train builds an incredible amount of speed and takes a lot of that speed up the next hill. But usually by the time you're getting close to the top of the hill, you can feel the chug, 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 chug of the train like fighting to try to get over the hill. On the third day, you guys are starting to come into a little more level territory. Anything that I should cover other than just telling you how the travel goes?
So I want to just have conversations and banter and try to be friendly and develop positive relationships with the crew to see if I can get them to talk about anything. Yeah, I'm not really fishing for specific things, but maybe they'll make a comment or something that I find interesting.
Okay, sure. Give me a charisma check. Give me an advantage since you have some time to work them over. Sure. So you've made friends probably with several of the people in the food cars and a couple of the people like the information people in the front of the cars. The people in the information people look like they move around to different cars in different days. You've noticed that they are carrying very subtle weapons, thinking that they have a side, and a couple of them mentioned that they're here to answer questions, but they're also here as guards in case something actually attacks the train, carrying valuable cargo and all that. But yeah, no, you develop several good relationships with the people on the train. There looks like there's probably you've gathered there's like 5 people in the engine compartment. There's at least one person per passenger, or one person per passenger car, plus another probably 2 per food cart or food car. And then there's probably 8 or 10 in the caboose, and nobody really is in the cargo wagons.
Good to know. I'm also in my other free time, because obviously I'm not doing that all the time, gonna apparently play cards with Horgold, but also be running drafts of the epic yarn that I'm creating through my head. So I have multiple ideas planned.
Okay. Absolutely. Well, join me in the sideboard for a second, please, Satet.
Oh.
Yeah, so to cover the rules for your epic draft, if you write something yourself, and like actually put the work into writing something out, I'm gonna give you basically a critical success or an excellent success, for if you write something up yourself. If you want to instead roll to see how good of something you're building, I'll probably have you roll maybe once a week, and we'll say probably 5 or 6 successes. With if you roll a 20, it'd be 2 successes. 5 or 6 successes means you have something that's quite good, and then every success you add on that makes it better. Basically, as you refine your work, just keep notes if we have any ones, those will be like changes to the story that might not go over well with the guy, but might go over well. It's like, subtle changes to the story. So if you roll the whole string of ones, then maybe it'll do. But anyway, so it's up to you whether you want to actually write out this epic tale or poem, or if you would like to roll stuff for it. And you don't have to choose right now.
Oh no, yeah. I mean, I've already been thinking about it, so I'll probably just write something out.
That would be amazing, and I would love to see what it turns out to be. All right, back to the normal.
Okay. 10 or 20 minutes.
10 or 20 minutes? Uh-oh. What's 10 or 20 minutes? We're back.
Thing.
All right, so the train travels on. Probably you guys start feeling the train slowing down on the third day, probably sometime in the morning, because you had been, other than building speed going, or you had the definite sensation that whenever you could, this train built speed. It reached speeds of probably 70 or 80 miles an hour at the top end. The slow end, however, when it was like cresting hills, was probably 5 miles an hour. Commune with your pointy stick. Which pointy stick was this? Oh, your spear. Right. Who had the sword?
That
by the
pointy
way?
stick.
That pointy stick. Yeah, absolutely. Your pointy stick is being more and more talkative, by the way. There was somebody who had a short sword. I believe Horgold Magical might have it.
Yeah, I think we assumed he took it because no one actually said they took it.
Have what?
It's a magical short sword.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't write it down.
Please write it down. You have had time enough to, now that you realize that it's important to pay attention to. You have had time to whatever with it. Join me on the sideboard for a second. So after you attune is the proper term. So after you attune to the short sword, it is a 9 lives stealer, and it is fully charged. It has not stolen anything. So, do you familiar with that, or want me to find it for you?
I'll quickly look it up. 9 als the number.
9 as in the number, yes. 9 life stealer, +2 bonus to attack and damage rolls. It has 9 charges. If you score a critical hit against a creature that has fewer than 100 hit points, it must succeed a DC 15 con save or be slain instantly. As the sword tears the life force from its body, sword loses 1 charge if this creature is slain. When the sword has no charges remaining, it just turns into a normal +2 short sword. So, if you roll a crit and something has less than 100 hit points, then you basically just kill it. All right.
Okay.
So yeah, you guys, in the morning, you realize this train is coming down, and you can hear the brakes squealing as this train slows. And it takes hours and you're getting the impression that you're going downhill this entire time. It takes hours for this train to slow down, and you come to not quite a stop just outside of town. Actually, I'm going to load up Mr. Town itself right here. Grab the players. So the actual train line travels just north of town, probably crossing where these last outbuildings are right over here. And yeah, you are shunted off to a side set of tracks. So the actual train station actually has 2 sets of tracks in it. And probably around 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
I keep clicking the wrong things.
Oh, okay. About 1 o'clock in the afternoon, you guys pull to a complete stop. The conductor, that's the proper term, not engineer, comes through the train saying that they'd be leaving around 6 this evening. There's been word that the other train has had a delay, but they'll be leaving around 6 after it stops and passes on, or basically so they can do the switching properly. If you had tickets to this destination, thank you for your travel. If you have tickets going on beyond, please be back before the train leaves, because the train waits for no person. And he looks down at Grunthos. Or Dragon.
I want to ask the conductor off to the side if there's any place he would recommend for food and entertainment.
Food or entertainment here in town. He kind of scrunches his brow a little bit. I'm not super familiar with town. I mostly been passing through. There is an inn in the main a restaurant in the main market square, known as, what is the proper term? Hold on. Boy, I'm just gonna completely blank on all terms for food. Yep, nope. Just he names it, and I cannot. Benedict. There we go. It is. Nope. It's got Benedict in the name. Anyway, I just can't. My brain just went poof. Anyway, he says that they are. He's heard that is the nicest place to eat in town, but he isn't sure. This is a town of probably 4,000 or 5,000 people. You guys haven't been in a town this small, with the exception of Grunthos' village, in months at this point.
Okay, then thank you.
Benedict's eggs. There. That's what I was going for. Doggone it. Instead of eggs Benedict, Benedict's eggs. Got it. Nailed it. First time.
All right. Well, how much time do we have? Sorry, I missed what time it is.
You got about 5 hours. The train will be leaving around 6. He suggests being on the train before 6 because they don't wait.
All right, I'm going to stretch and say, hey, guys, I'm going to go. If anyone cares, I will be happy to hang out with you, but otherwise I'm heading in.
I need some proper drinks. I'm coming with.
Yeah, the drinks you've been being served are all like frou-frou mixed drinks type thing.
Excellent.
Yeah, I'll come with.
Yeah.
All right, you guys head into town. It's not a long walk to actually go into the main part of town from here.
I am on the lookout for a proper as this town can manage a proper drink establishment. I want to buy a small keg of something good.
Are there
Uh,
guards or anything when we leave the train?
yeah. So there's definitely a guard presence around the station. The as you guys go into town, for like you can tell how small this place is when you get into town. Um, for a city of this size, the guard presence is maybe a little heavier than what you would expect, but not like incredibly heavy. There is a lot of like you notice that there are people unloading and loading from one of the wagons. They're like rolling barrels out of the wagon, rolling different barrels into it. So there's definitely some trade that goes on from Convergence to this town. Um, uh, Good pub for grub and drink. But other than that, yeah, there's the what is that line supposed to be?
Train line?
Train line is to the north of town over here.
Just outside.
Yeah, just outside of town. Apparently, in this town, they didn't feel like going through the walls.
It looks like a cat laser and a giant cat's gonna come attack the town.
So Tuco, you ask around. There you go. That's appropriate. You ask around for a good pub, and everybody gives you a different answer. They give you their favorite pub, but after a couple of moments, you realize that like the center square of town is where all of these buildings are. So there's Benedict's Eggs here. There is the Inebriated Unicorn here. There is probably the laughing tiger there. This place doesn't have a name, but it's obviously a bar as well.
I want to go to the Unicorn and then have dinner at Benedict's Eggs to meet.
All right. You guys get to the Inebriated Unicorn. It is at middle of the afternoon, not very busy. The barmaid is, or barman, the male person who is serving drinks out in the I don't even know if there's a proper term for that.
Barman
is happy to see you guys. Welcome. Happy to have you. Go ahead and find a chair or a seat. Or if you're not picky, go ahead and go up to the bar. What can I get you guys to drink?
Any chance you can deliver a keg of whiskey to Sleeper Cast 4 on the
Well, I don't see why not. That absolutely. Yes, we can do that. Any particular brand or type of whiskey?
most expensive one you have?
A keg of them. Do you want us to
Uh-oh.
pour it into a keg? Because the most expensive ones we have tend to come in bottles.
A case
Can
of
you-
it then.
A case,
Yeah, can you get a case of bottles?
Absolutely, sir. A case of bottles delivered to sleeper car number 4. I will go on the back and see what we have, and I will let you know how much it will be.
Grunthos, you sure you don't want to try a shot for?
Yeah, it's better than the frou-frou things we've been drinking on the trip.
Might not be, but okay.
After conferring with the barkeep, they actually put 3 cases of whiskeys out onto the bar. You do not recognize the labels of any of them. There is. I need to hold on.
What language are they in, or are they assorted?
So they would be in the Kartuk tongue. Oh no. There we go. Drink name generator. Sure. We'll see what happens. That is nope. I'm not even gonna go with that. That's not what the sort of thing. I don't know a good name. So there's one of them is a bourbon. One of them is more akin to a Scotch, and one of them is more of just a straight blended whiskey. Horgold, you'd be familiar with all Horgold, Hollock, and Tuco. You'd be familiar with all three of them. Grunthos, you might be familiar with the blended whiskey. Rosewater malt.
Was there a symbol or some sort of name on the barrels we found on the ship?
Barrels we found on the ship. That was. I don't remember what that was.
It was some form of whiskey because I grabbed 2 skins full. Still have them.
I think that was not high shelf stuff. I think that was like mid tier or lower tier stuff. But you probably would have something from the same brewery. So I would say the Scotch style whiskey, very smoky, peaty, is probably from the same brewery. Although the one that this one is a single malt, not a blended. The one you had before was probably a blended whiskey.
I'll get the single malt thing.
Okay. So it is somebody give me a good German whiskey name for a very smoky whiskey. And that's what we're going to call this. That's what we're going to call this.
Yippee-ki-yay rye.
How about no? Dimple?
I don't know a single German whiskey.
I see a Lagavulin 8 year.
It's not a single malt. It's a blend, but still, my favorite whiskey.
Dimple? Oh, we can go with it. It is currently the 17th of Emerald, by the way, according to my records. Hold on, I'm making notes. All right. So you guys gonna drink anything else here? Ooh, Collymore. I like that name. Coillmor. All right. We'll go with that. I like that name.
Cost? How much for the case?
So this whiskey runs 10 brass a bottle. There are 12 bottles in the case. So 120 brass per case. They have 2 full cases if you want it, and another partial.
I'll buy 1 case and throw in another 7 brass to just keep the liquor flowing while we're...
All right, so you guys are supplied with top shelf liquor for as long as you with 7 brass. You're supplied with top shelf liquor for about as long as you want, because you're only here for a few hours.
I'll keep it with beer.
The beer in the Inebriated Unicorn is definitely where you guys are. Probably another chewy lager. A lot of oat in it. you're thinking. So kind of a heavier, darker beer. I don't know beer very well. I'm sorry.
So while we're drinking, does anyone thought any more on what might be going after Horrible?
Been thinking and haven't gotten any closer to figuring some of the stuff out.
Okay.
Only
Well, I know we have
pers-
some time, but what's the plan when we get there?
the only person that has enough money for it is probably the boat owner. But why then go only after me? That's the only thing I can think of.
And similarly, the deed was a whole bunch of names.
Um. You guys sit there drinking your drinks. I'm assuming none of you want to get wrecked here, but that's just me.
No, I want to pace myself for sure because I want to
Right.
be able to have good food at Benedict's Eggs.
Yep. So
about,
you guys
about an hour and a half before time to the train, I want to head over there.
right. So yeah, that's reasonable. You guys head to Benedict's Eggs. This place at probably call it 4 p.m. is starting to pack up. You notice several, like, you recognize several passengers from the train, probably from the wealthier end of the cars, eating or coming in and eating here as well. Hold on, I'm typing something. Do. No. Sorry. There we go. So you guys get in here and get seated, and you are given a, like, you are not given a menu. The person comes up and says, glad to be of service to you. We have, and he lists, say, we have, I didn't brush up on my fancy French. Like, he gives you like several dishes for main course. Each dish has like, it's like white pollock, blah blah blah, in a béarnaise sauce with white truffle. You know, it's really, at least the it sounds very, the food sounds very elaborate. um and he basically asks you guys which one of the three dishes they're serving each of you would like to have. And there's a fish, a poultry, and a like a red meat dish. And I am horrible at coming up with names of dishes at the top of my head.
I will have the crepe fish. Thank you, Arnold.
Sure, his name is Arnold. Absolutely. Actually, yes, his name is Arnold.
I'll go with the red meat.
All right, it is, yep, some sort of beef, probably. It's wrapped in like a puff pastry and roasted, and then sliced thinly. Pollock and Grunthos.
I go with the poultry.
All right.
I'll have the coq au vin.
Sure. We'll go. We'll say that the poultry is a coq au vin, or a coq au vin. And he bows slightly. Thank you for your order. Uh, your dish, appetizers will be out shortly. Would you like the house recommendation for the wines to go along with your dinner, or would you like to choose your own?
Do you
I'll
have
take
beer?
the recommendation.
Do you have Chateau Lafitte?
Absolutely, sir. We do. Strangely enough, that is the recommended pairing for your dish.
Brilliant.
All right. See, so he bustles off, and within a couple of minutes, you guys are there's table service, glass of glasses are set in front of you. You guys are like the bottles of wine are opened at your table, poured for you. Um, sorry, did you have a question about the wine, Grunthos?
No, I said I would take the recommended for the cockle.
Okay, for the appetizer for the fish dish is a let's see, it is probably a hearty pate on served on like crostini. Um, for the beef dish, it is a like spring lettuce and herb salad, with a like vinaigrette dressing. Um, and for the coq au vin, it is probably a tranchon or trencher of like um garlicky bread. Like they took a bread and they rubbed garlic on it, and it's covered with like olive oil and cut into very is like crisped on the top and then cut into slices, and then there's like a butter or probably an olive oil dipping sauce to go with. um about the time it's just there's not like a lot of food on in these dishes, but the wine pairing goes with them well. And the like there's just enough food that you eat the last bite, and about that time you the waiters come out and clear all of the plates off. Like this sort of thing where you're looking at the last bite to eat, thinking about whether to eat it or not. You go ahead and pick it up and eat it, and the plate just kind of almost magically vanishes from in front of you, and set in front of you is the most delicious smelling food you guys have ever smelled. Maybe not, but it smells wonderful. Um, the fish, I guess you said that was a fish crepe thing, is actually like it's a white fish. There's a lemon sauce, and it is in this puffed, like the pastry that is inside is like completely puffed up, and you crack it open and steam comes out, and it's like herby and lemony. um and the fish is just like perfectly flaky through, and the kind of off sweet flavor of the breading goes with it well. The beef dish is basically beef Wellington. It is a beef tenderloin wrapped in a mushroom. Forget what the name of it is, but like minced mushrooms. And then that is wrapped inside of like a puff pastry. It is sliced thinly, so there's very thin slices of this, and there is like a sauce on the plate, but it doesn't. There's not enough sauce to actually like sog out the sog out the like the thing. So you basically, with your fork, you can just grab a slice of this meat and the pastry and dip it in the sauce and shove it in your mouth. It's wonderful. Kagavan or Kakovin is a soup. It is slow roasted chicken in a wine sauce. Well, This chicken is there's like the sauce is incredibly like deeply flavorful, or the soup is incredibly deeply flavorful. There's like croutons on top that, so soup often is like kind of mushy. They give it just enough like contrast of textures to give you some interesting um anyway, so you guys are eating, and you've noticed that this whole place is very quiet. Uh, Pretty much the place is full. About, you'd say about half of this is people who came from the train, and it's very hard to eat and talk at the same time because the food is just so wonderfully tasty. And I would like everybody to make a perception check, please. Yeah. 16. 16. Grunthos and Hollock.
I rolled.
Oh. No, never mind. I just completely missed the first two rolls. 18, 15, 16, and 16. Alright. There, type that in there. So everybody got over 15. So Grunthos and Tuco, as you guys' dishes are being cleared, you're being served dessert wines, and like you guys are, they're like dishes are being cleared from the main dish. There was enough food that you feel full, but not like there wasn't so much food that you guys are like overly full. There has been like free flowing wine. You guys, if your glass gets empty, it's refilled. Anyway, so Grunthos and Tuco. So you notice two of the servers who come to clear your dinner dishes and then place the dessert plates. And I should talk about the dessert plates, but in a minute. No, we'll talk about the dessert plates now. So the first thing you notice is the dessert plates. So this is a chocolate and cream pastry. So thin layers of like very cold chocolate, very thin layers of chocolate, and then like whipped cream. So a layer of whipped cream and a layer of chocolate and a layer of whipped cream, and there is a like sweet pastry shell over the top of it. So basically you cut it open, and each bite is a mixture of the pastry shell and the crackly, it's a well-tempered chocolate, and the sweet of the cream and the kind of bitter of the chocolate. And you don't like sweets? You don't have to eat it. The bitter of the chocolate, and it's not like super sweet. It's that kind of French dessert where it's sweet, but it's not like overpoweringly so. And the like mellow of the pastry all kind of mixed together. And anyway, so what you guys notice as this is going, Tuco and Grunthos, you notice that two of the servers look at your table, basically look at the people at your table, and kind of and like just a very passing glance, meet each other's eyes, and then continue on their work. Hollock and Horgold, when you got higher rolls anyway, you each recognize one of these two people. You don't necessarily recognize the same one of these two people, but these two people were in Anya's guard force. when you last saw them in Convergence. So when you guys were hanging out with Anya. But you also notice the glance at each other. But your dessert is served, along with a dessert wine, and I think we will go ahead and end there. So that has been Sonderling Inc. episode 22. Thank you everybody for watching and listening. We will pick up again next week with what in the heck you guys decide to end up doing about what is going on. Thanks everybody for watching. Bye.